Good afternoon, everyone, and thank
Hey,
you for
hey.
tuning in.
Hello, everybody.
How are we doing today on this beautiful, cool November day? Blue skies over here.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Hey, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
There we go. Thindu is ready to stick to the code of no cursing.
Here we go.
When I have to talk, I'll go like this, ALV.
All right.
Oh,
That's
my.
commitment. That is commitment right there. So today we're going to start Godfather II, which I'm very excited about because in a lot of ways I like it better than the first one, the first Godfather. I mean, the first Godfather was the original, and obviously I love that. But this one I like. And before we get into it, I got a question for you guys. The way Godfather 2 is created or shot is it's some real-time stuff, and then it has flashbacks to Sicily, to when the Godfather was and Michael was a baby, and sort of. What do you think about that? Do you like that style of filmmaking, or do you like it? What they put together over the years, they put together that chronological order of the Godfather. I personally like the way the Godfather 2 was shot with the flashbacks. But what do you guys think about that?
Go ahead, Tinto.
I love it. I love it. It gives the crowd, the people, a little history and a little bit what happened before that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like when they go back to the Don in Sicily, and then he's sitting there holding his head. Was it all that bad in Sicily? You know what I mean? It
Right.
gives you all that with that, I think.
I love it. I think it brings it all together. But I will say this: you have to be in this for the long haul. Godfather 1 and Godfather 2. You got to grab it all. You can't just watch this as a movie.
Right.
So if you look at it more than just a movie, you're gonna enjoy the way they do it. Possibly, if you're looking like you can't see Godfather 2 without seeing Godfather 1. You got to be all in. If you're all in, you should love the way that they did it. I love it.
I mean, you're going to miss out on so much. If you start with Godfather 2, you're not going to know what's going on. I mean, you'll be able to get some of it, but you're going to miss out on so much. So
you got to be in for the long haul. That's what I
Yeah.
mean. You got to really. It's interesting. It's a series basically, so you got to really.
Yeah, it's a movie series.
It's
a movie series. Yeah.
In 6 hours, they capture a whole series basically.
Just like anything else.
Because think about the time. You're talking about 12 hours of film time. That's a season on TV.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's like reading a book in the middle of it. Starting a book in the middle.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, and I also think it keeps the viewer interested. The flashback scenes, like you're watching, Michael at the hearing, for example. Then you flash back to Sicily. I mean, it just keeps you constantly interested. Like, oh, what's happening now? You know, I mean, and you see that in other series or other movies, not too often, but you do see it. You see that, like in Star Wars to some degree, where Star Wars they would switch to different scenes, different things happening all the time, and that kept the viewer interested, and it lends to the popularity of it. I think so. It's a good technique, and I think it should be used more often in filmmaking. But
the thing about it is you're never going to be able to duplicate it.
No, not this story. You can't. Absolutely not.
Story.
No.
I'm always curious to wonder if people outside the culture have as much interest as those of us that understand the culture. Do they have it? Do they feel it the same way? I've always wondered about that, and I don't know. No, maybe there's people here that can add to that. I don't know.
I don't. My personal view is I don't think so. But here's the difference: is I think we have a special understanding of this that they don't, but it doesn't take away from the movie. Our special understanding is separate. And that goes to the fact that, look, think about it. The Godfather is ranked as the best film of all time, basically. In most ratings, it comes up as either 1 or 2 of all-time best films. So those are not just Italians rating it, and by all means, it's people across all different cultures. So to me, that means that the story, the interaction of the characters, the acting itself, it all resonates with everyone across any nationality.
Well, that makes sense.
Remember, it's the family aspects, guys.
Right.
Every culture could relate to that Sicilian culture in The Godfather. You know, respect, honor, loyalty, all that.
Well,
It can all, you know, all the good ones can relate to that.
I
Mhm.
guess, yeah. Being that it's a cinematic masterpiece, Paramount or whoever made this movie doesn't know Belleville, Brooklyn, and Buffalo.
Right.
No.
They know
No.
worldwide.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I guess, yeah, that makes sense. Because if it was just Belleville, Bensonhurst,
Right.
and Buffalo, it wouldn't go anywhere, basically, if you think about it. So
Right.
it captured a worldwide crowd that we're a small segment of the population
Hmm.
overall. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I guess, yeah, you're right. It's
The
we,
one
we
thing
feel it. We feel it in our heart more, but they can get an understanding of it. I guess that's what it. I guess that's what it's.
the one thing I've learned after 58 years, every city, every culture is different in a lot of ways. They're the same. It's the way they pronounce things. It's the way they make things. Everybody is different. They
Right.
might call a dish another dish, or
Yeah.
you know, an action another action, but everything is the same. There's
But
just
everybody
different
can.
words.
But everybody can relate to
Everybody can relate
respect,
to what's going
love.
on.
Yeah, that's a good.
And I was thinking the same thing as you were
That's a good
talking,
point.
just before you started talking, Dean. I was thinking the same thing.
That's a great
If you
point.
look at different cultures, whether it's Irish, whether it's Italian, whether it's Middle Eastern, whether it's Lebanese, whether you know what I mean, you look at these cultures, they all have an element that's the same, and that's the family and the value of the family. And I think everyone, and that's what this whole story resonates with:
Yeah,
family values and how the interaction between and how they try to survive. It's a story of survival, really, is what it is.
yeah,
And every culture has experienced that. So I think it
right.
hits a nerve with
All
everyone.
right, that's good.
Yes.
Good
I
points,
mean, you
guys.
got to remember,
Excellent.
guys like us at our age, like I said, when Dindu walks on a construction
Yeah.
project, you got 3/4 of that project, the kids, the young men. Oh my
Mhm.
God, I got an uncle and a father, grandfather, just like this guy is incredible.
That's
You're
interesting.
like, okay, that's where history, culture starts being educated and born again. These
Right.
kids are watching me and they're going, damn, look at my uncle and my father and my grandfather. This guy's great. You know, you don't hear people talking like that anymore.
All right,
And
I
that's the
like it.
same in every culture, like the Irish, the German. The Irish are a lot like the Sicilians, tough. You know, they do what they got to do. They've been through this history, discriminated against, but it's the same
And
thing.
and yes, and especially in the Irish, the Polish also, like these
Yeah.
are cultures that have been dominated and conquered by other areas. Poland was
Yes.
always conquered by Russia
Yes.
or Germany. Ireland was always under the thumb of Britain. Sicily was always under the thumb of France or
Yeah.
some other invading company. You know what I mean? So they come from cultures that are very similar in that they
Okay,
have to survive. They try to
You know,
survive.
I
I'm
like that.
glad you said that real fast. I
Great.
don't mean to cut you off. I don't want to forget. The nationality closest to my Sicilian nationality, grown up with respect and all that, I have the Irish, but the Polish people. They're the
Mhm.
closest I
Okay.
think to Sicilians in the
Okay.
culture and food and the acting and the respect. I really think what I've learned, you know,
Well, think
growing up.
about it. Here's the link there. The link, and whether people believe or not, it's up to them, their religion. But the religion is a link. Polish
Yes,
people are Roman Catholic.
Roman
Oh,
Catholic.
Irish are Roman Catholic.
right.
Italians
Yes,
are Roman Catholic. There's a
Okay.
link
yes,
there.
I don't want you
yes.
to miss this comment. I would really love for you to put up this comment over here.
Which one's
Might
that?
be a new follower for you, Aunt, right here. Game for War. Well, we got to welcome everybody in, but you got to
Yes.
definitely
Game for War. Here we go.
check that comment out. That's incredible.
It's an immigrant story, leaving one's home. Yes, coming to America. Irish, German, Hispanic, Scots. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you, Game for War. That's a
Mm-hmm.
really good. That's a
And
really good
welcome
comment.
and welcome to the party. Welcome.
Yes.
I think it's your first
Yes.
time here. Welcome. We appreciate it.
You may get a
Um,
few new ones today. So yes,
let's say
absolutely.
hello to let's say hello to everybody. Let's take a break here. I see Paul
Boy,
C. I see
Nice start.
TT. Good to see you, my friend.
GT.
Carmela's here.
Carmella.
Arlene is always here.
What wild
Cinnamon Girl is here.
cinnamon.
All right. This is great.
I saw Octavia before said she was listening.
Tavius.
Um,
I'll just repeat after you.
yeah, sure. Vincent Capiche. What?
Capiche.
Yeah. It was just in my show a little while ago.
Nice.
We brought him
Nice.
over,
He's new too.
Travis also.
Drury.
Travis.
We got
Travis. Yep.
We pushed this show hard 20 minutes ago. So.
BK Skip. Andrea. Everyone's son, Andrea. Maureen is here, of course. Maureen's always here. It's so thankful for your support.
This is great.
A lot of people here today. This is great. Sino Evil was here. I don't know if he's still here. He was here before. Kelly's here. Yes, Kelly's here.
Palermo.
Yep.
Yeah,
great crowd.
Excellent group.
Great crowd today. I don't know. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Steve Morinello. There he is. Steve is there.
Adam Cravassi.
Adam, of course, is here.
Yep.
All right. Very good. Nice
Great
group.
crowd.
Thanks for coming in, guys. Excellent.
So before we get into the actual Godfather 2 opening scene, there's one thing I wanted to mention that we kind of neglected in Godfather 1 was the whole and they took it out of the whole series, but the justice for Fabrizio, right? The that was really taken out of the movie. You don't see it in the movie, the mainstream movie. You don't see it. And I don't know why, because to me it's a very important aspect of Michael's closing that chapter in his life. He was the chapter where he was wronged, his wife was taken from him, and he had to close that chapter. And I don't know why they did it. Now here's the interesting part why they didn't show it, but here's the interesting point is there's two scenes. There's a deleted scene. There's a deleted scene that was filmed but was never shown, and I'm sure you guys seen that. That's where they blow him up in the car and with poetic justice.
Video. Yeah.
I did not see that. I did not see that.
And I'll post it.
Check my shorts out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll post it on my community page too after this, just so you got anyone who wants to see it can see it. But they blow him up, poetic justice, just like Apollonia got blown up in the car, right?
Wow.
But there was another alternative that they didn't even film. All they did was take still shots off. That's where Michael is there personally with a shotgun and kills Fabrizio himself. And they only took stills of this. And I found a still. And hold on, let me pull it up right here.
Interesting.
If I can find it.
I didn't know any of this.
No, I didn't know nothing about the shotgun and him going after.
I know nothing about the video. We also didn't do.
Look what we are unearthing over here.
See, we're learning off each other. It's beautiful.
Now this is can you guys see this?
Yeah.
I never saw this ever.
Me neither.
This is a still of him with a shotgun.
Wow.
And he's in the pizzeria, and he's going to take out Justice himself.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never seen him with the gun in his hand until he killed Captain McCluskey.
That was it, and that was the only time.
Right.
He didn't. Did he even have a gun when they were walking?
No, he did not. No,
he never had a gun. Only when he killed the.
Mm-hmm.
Only in the restaurant, right?
Right.
Wow, it's the first I've seen. So where is he right now? He's in where?
He's in Fabrizio's Pizzeria in Buffalo.
Buffalo. Oh my God. Wow.
How fucked up?
Put the tape on. Put the tape.
You get the dunce cap in the corner. Put the dunce cap on. We gotta have fun too. What are you gonna do? This is as real as you're gonna get. I'm dying right now.
I'm so depressed, Anthony. I'm so sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
He's got me over. He's got me over. Okay, episode 2. We'll try.
TT, I'm in the corner. I'm punished for 5 minutes.
Oh my God. Real people right here, guys. Real people right here having a good time.
Hello, Big Bones, and hello, Gianni. Thank you guys for coming in.
This needs to be a short.
I'm done.
You do. You're in the dungeon. You put a dunce cap on. You're in the corner.
That's my story of my life, guys. I'm so
Thank you.
sorry.
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I think we could survive one F-bomb. We'll
Yeah,
survive
I
one.
didn't even finish it. I hope. I'm gonna go back. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Um,
Thank you, TT.
Okay, guys. I'm
and
sorry.
Game of War. This is a you know, he's now Game. I knew he had a medal. Now Game of War is saying he got the Silver Star
Okay.
in World War II. Game for War, excuse me. So I knew he definitely got a medal. Michael definitely got a medal. I didn't know what it was, so that's interesting. Thank you for that. What the medal
Wonderful.
was?
This is my point here. Game for War. First time in here, already adding to the show. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Great.
Beautiful stuff.
Big Bones. Big Bones. If I can't do a burpee, I'm so sore. Big Bones. I'm ready to fall apart. Please don't threaten me with a burpee. Go ahead.
50
I can't even
burpees.
move. I'm sorry. I won't swear again.
So, so let's talk about Godfather 2. So Godfather 2, the opening scene, begins in Sicily, and we see the funeral. It's a funeral procession. You hear the music playing. You see an arid landscape, which to me always struck me. Like it was the Godfather 2 that taught me that that's the way Sicily was. I never imagined that it was so arid like that, kind of like a desert.
Yeah, it is.
And like I've told you guys before, my wife was born in Sicily, and
Yeah.
she knows, she's been there several times.
Yep.
And it's a very diverse island in climate, because you have that, and then you also have mountains where they actually get snow in Sicily, which I never would have thought they would. But the higher elevations actually get snow in the winter.
Colder. Yep.
Yeah. So it's a very diverse island in climate.
Yeah.
But when you see that scene, what do you think? I mean, what I think about when I see that is you hear the music playing, and you see the procession going across this open field. And I just think back to the old times of people's, that's the way funerals were handled, where you had a musical band. And it kind of reminded me of New Orleans and how they still do that in New Orleans, where there's a musical band playing as the procession goes along.
Right.
It's really a really hearkening back, but it's appropriate for the time, right? That was the turn of the century. That scene takes place at the turn of the century, like 1901, I think it is, or 1902, something like that.
Yeah. That was an interesting scene.
And then the procession is disrupted by gunshots.
Yes.
And everyone runs. Everyone runs for cover. And that reminds me, or it makes me think of, like how many parts of the world are like that still, in this day and age where, there's just random gunshots that come out of, and places in this country too, where random gunshots just come out of nowhere, and everyone scatters and runs. But this gunshot had a purpose, right? And we find out what it was it was the killing of the son of Vito's. I'm sorry, Vito's a child now. Vito Corleone is a child now. Vito Andolini, his real name is Andolini. Vito Andolini is a child now. He's 9 years old, and his older brother, is murdered right there at the funeral procession by the same people that killed his father.
I need to add to something when I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's very interesting because he was killed because, if we're going to get into this, I don't know, because the father was killed because he was anti-mafia.
Yes.
Right.
Which is ironic because obviously fast forward and we see what happens. I just wanted to add that in.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't like the mob at all.
Right.
And here's and it's more and it's a bigger picture than that too, right? What it was he had a dispute. The father had a dispute with a neighbor, and the neighbor went to the chieftain, the mafia chieftain, who was Don Cheech. And Don Cheech ruled in his favor and said that the father had to comply and go. And he didn't want to deal with it. He said, no, I don't believe in that. I'm not going to, I'm going to do my own thing. And therefore he gets killed.
Yep.
So it
It
goes
was
back.
actually Don Cheech. It was actually Don Cheech ordered the killing, as you see, of Vito and Paolo's father.
Yeah.
Real fast. Didn't they kill a brother too? Paolo?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, that's what happened.
That's the one that got
killed
shot.
now. That's who
Yeah.
gets killed right in
Okay,
the scene.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, good. Let's go.
So, I mean, I think it harkens back to something we spoke about before, how in Sicily, the mafia chieftain was kind of like a feudal lord that ruled
Yeah.
over a specific area, and that the people had to listen. They had to listen to them because they were more than just, they weren't, you know, they were kind of like a pseudo government. He made this ruling, and you had to comply with it. If you didn't, there was consequences.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it it's such a different experience in Sicily than it is in America. The whole concept of mafia and everything, it was ingrained in the lifestyle. It took the position of a pseudo government. It wasn't outside of the government. It was the government, basically. You know,
It was right.
yeah.
Right. Right. Absolutely. That was the governing body of the streets.
Hmm.
A lot of people couldn't complain to the government.
Right.
That's who they had to complain to. That's who they dealt with.
We're going to go ahead with the episode, but it was a bad thing over there.
Hmm.
It was a bad thing
Absolutely.
over here. Over here was a little more civilized,
Hmm.
but that's a whole other story. But go
Yeah.
ahead. Let's go.
Right. Well, the difference, I mean, the glaring difference was that here you could stay out of it, right? You could be completely out of it. There you couldn't, right? You were subject to it. It was all around
as long
you.
as you minded your own business here and
Yeah.
stayed away from them, you're good.
Right.
Over there, you had to pay the taxes.
You're stuck. Over here, you're typically not going to be a victim of it unless you get involved in
Right.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to remember. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Over there, you had no choice.
Yeah.
So they were really taking advantage of our own over there, which is the ugly part of it.
Mm-hmm.
They taxed
Absolutely.
businesses. They taxed families. They taxed everything back then
Mm-hmm.
on the streets. You know, we seen that with Panucci.
Yep.
What
Mhm.
Animal. He brought that animal instinct with him.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So we have the death of Paolo, who is Vito's older brother. He's killed right there at the funeral of the father. And then that takes us to the next scene, which is when his mother, Vito's mother, takes Vito directly to Don Cheech's residence, who is not in Corleone. He's outside of Corleone. And that's another concept here. The head mafia guy doesn't live in the city with everyone else. He lives on an estate outside. So he's really like a feudal lord. This is his castle. This is where he lives. And everybody else, you have to come and pay homage to him. And why is she taking him there? She's taking him there to plead for his life. That's it. Just to plead for her son's life. A 9-year-old child's life she's going to plead for.
Unbelievable.
And you think about the savagery of it. That like she needs to protect her child. Now, this is Don Cheech is following Machiavelli to the T. When you have an enemy, you wipe out his family so that there's no revenge ever. That's what he's doing. That's all he's doing. He's following the manual. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Cruel,
You're right.
that's what he's doing.
That's written in the prince.
Oh, yes. When you take over, when you defeat someone, or you, especially when it comes to royalty, etc., like it says you wipe out the family because you don't want it ever coming back to haunt you.
This is written in the book, The Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. They always said the young ones are the ones they're worried about. They will grow up and come back and get their revenge.
Good.
Just like the Godfather did. He came back from the States, went to Sicily, did his thing, and that's it. If you don't get them all, it only takes one to come back. That's it.
And makes it all come together.
Yeah.
That's it.
So she comes and she pleads for her son, but we find out that she knew it wasn't. She didn't think it was going to be successful, right? She probably knew it wasn't going to be successful. That's why she has in her possession a butcher's knife. But how does she present herself? She presents herself as like a serf or like a slave, like paying homage, pleading for her son's life, saying that he's dim-witted, He can't possibly hurt you. He's a dimwit. We know that's obviously not correct, not true. But and what's Don Cheech's response? He says,
Can't do it.
I'm not worried about him now. That's exactly what he says. I'm not worried. He goes, he's a little kid. He can't bother you. He can't do anything. I'm not worried about you now. And he goes, Quando grande, that's when he's worried about him. When he's going to get big, he's going to come back for vengeance. And he says it right out there. He just says it. This is why. This is why it has to be that way, because he's going to come for vengeance.
Right.
Wow.
You know, a perfect example of that was in a modern day movie too. Probably blew right by everybody.
Amazing, man.
Bronx Tale. How do you think Sonny got taken out?
Oh, yes, right. You're right.
Right, ALV?
Mm-hmm.
The kid,
That's right.
like the guy's kid.
It was the son of the guy, that he killed for in the parking space instance that kills him. Yep.
It's always the son.
Yep.
Always the son.
Yeah. Wow.
And in that movie they talk about the prince too. He says that he studied the prince and that's why he lives in the neighborhood, so he could watch over everything.
Yes.
Availability. Yeah.
I love the prince.
Yeah.
I love that book.
All right. So then he says no, right? Don Cheech says, no, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Yep.
So she takes, and then this scene is to me is the perfect example of the Sicilian woman, and that the lengths a Sicilian woman will go to protect her family.
Oh,
yes.
She goes at that point. She knows she's sacrificing her life. She knows it. She knows it. She takes out the knife. Takes out the knife, grabs him, and puts it to his throat, and yells, "Vito, run!" Her only point here is to get Vito away. For Vito to get away, she knows she's dead. She knows that she's not going to survive this, but it doesn't. It's that motherly instinct of her protecting her child that she's going to give her life for him.
She sacrificed her life for him.
Mm-hmm. Where's my mother? That's a perfect example. That's my mother right there. Where are you? Get in here. That's my mother. Perfect. Perfect example. Yes. You're right. That was a great part too. I always loved that part.
Really unbelievable.
Hey, Yankees.
Before we go any further, I want to thank everybody for coming in. We had 32 up in here.
33 now. 33 people.
Okay. So thank you all for following us here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Joey Pope.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate we talked about doing it as a pre-record, going live. We're liking the interaction. We had one curse.
Thank you. I'm done.
So we just want to thank you all for stopping by. We do appreciate it.
Big Bones makes a good point here. Most European people of struggle had the belief if you hurt one, revenge was in the making, a must. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Bones, you're right.
Yeah.
And here's TT talking about a Sicilian woman. We'll put you in the hospital and bring you ravioli the same day.
TT, behave yourself. TT,
right.
Will you behave? Yeah, TT and my mother, I would never let them two group up. Oh my God.
Now, Todd Father's asking a question here. That this is a good question right here. Why did she bring him? She said, why did she bring, and meaning, why did she bring Vito with her?
Okay.
I think, go ahead, Vito. You go first. You tell me what you think.
She had to. When you're pleading for someone's life, you got to bring them there. That's her only chance. If she would have went there alone, it would have meant nothing. Mm-hmm. She brought the kid. It still meant nothing, but that's what they did.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was. You're right. She had to bring him there, and it was a shimmer of hope that she would be able to convince him. That's all she had, was a shimmer of hope that she'd be able to convince him. And how is she going to do that? She's going to bring him and show Don Cheech that he's no threat. Look at him. He's a dimwit. He can't hurt you.
He's a mosquito. He's a mosquito. He don't even know how to talk. He's so stupid. She did everything she could,
Then, unfortunately, she doesn't know the Machiavellian way.
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that,
unfortunately, as you can see how it turned out, she didn't understand the Machiavellian way.
Oh no, a lot of people don't.
Now, and this is also, like I think I mentioned before, there's no Godfather II book. The Godfather II was written as a
Yes.
script, and then afterwards they wrote something afterwards.
Right.
But
See, Gianni's got a great point. She was trying to go the whole. He was mentally slow. He was
slow,
retarded.
yes, yep.
Yes,
But Gianni
exactly,
also,
Gianni.
again, if she understood Machiavelli's point, she would
Mhm.
have never gone there.
No, not to that. No, not to an animal like him. No.
Yeah. So now
Yeah.
in the actual Godfather book, the original Godfather, this scene does not take place. All they say is that his mother, so his mother does not get killed. His mother puts him on a boat to get him out because the mother knew that the mafia chieftain would kill him. So this scene, which I think is awesome because it brings up so much and it gives us so much to talk about here about the interaction and everything, wasn't in Mario Puccio's original idea. Like it wasn't his original idea, but I think it's a great thing because aside from her just putting him on, it shows her sacrifice, it shows the ruthlessness, it shows so many important things about the culture at that time. So
Interesting. What great points of view. She might have got sent for, Vincent says. You never know.
Yep.
Possible.
Yep.
So, but for cinematic, they had to add that part.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, I think it's a great ad. I mean, it shows you, and it sets up everything for all the future scenes in Sicily too. Why is he coming back?
That's right. Sets everything up.
What
I
now?
think I'm equally excited, if not more, to do this series than I was one.
Mm-hmm. Right. Big Bones, my second Calabrian is much quieter than first. Who was this? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I thought he was talking about something else.
Titi, we're learning as we're doing this, right? Titi, we're learning as we're doing this show.
Right.
Another good point, ALV, the Machiavellian way. It also says you got to hit them 5-10-fold.
Yeah, way back.
So hard so they can never come back, never lift a finger, say a word to you again. So it all falls under that, ruthless Machiavellian. There it is.
Put them all out. You have it. I don't.
Oh, you got that one. Check out the one I got.
Can you imagine? I don't have this, and I lived some of this stuff.
Well, this is what a college education gets you. I had to buy this. I had to buy this, and I've had it since college.
They made you buy that for curriculum?
Yeah. This was required reading.
For law school or for general?
No, undergraduate.
Undergrad, really?
Yeah, there you go. I like that. I like the cover on that.
Got the satin purple cover. I got this for a gift, ALV.
I'm buying this with my next Cash App.
I can't believe you never read this book, Tommy.
Never read it. I know it by nature, but I never read it.
Wow.
And I tell you, I was
my next night's Cash App is going for that. I'm gonna.
I was so taken aback by it that I went and looked into this. There's other writings by Machiavelli, and this one is called. This one is Discourses. It's another, and the Prince is in this too, but this was another one, and this one to me was a little bit more interesting because this one is how to kind of survive in a democracy. The other one is more like you have the power, you do what you want to do. This one tries to tell you how to survive in a democracy and gain power through legal means and stuff. So it's interesting.
That's where I lost it. I put that book down.
Before Joey Pup goes, we must caption his comment. He stopped what he was doing to add this comment.
Vito was never slow. Oh, absolutely. I think the mother wanted Don to have. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
that was her only.
Yeah.
Yes.
Joey.
That was her only chance. That was her only chance to try to pull the wool over his eyes and say, "This guy's a complete dummy. He can't do any harm to you. It would be like you killing a puppy. Like it doesn't cause any benefit to you because he's still not going to hurt you."
But the Machiavelli mindset just destroys all of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Well, she had the Machiavellian mind too, lying like a mother to him.
Oh yeah, I guess they both maybe. Yeah,
they both did. She lied her, her booty off to save her son.
Yeah. All right.
Of course.
Good.
Of course.
Good. Oh wow, this is a great show we're having today.
So and she grabs him, and Vito, she grabs him and puts the knife to him. Vito takes off and runs, and of course she gets the shotgun. She gets killed, but somehow Vito escapes, which is kind of interesting to me. I mean, it was kind of miraculous how he escaped, but he did. He got out of there before they could, and I guess because the shotguns only have a certain range, so I guess they couldn't get to him. And then we see that they are out actually looking for him, right?
Yeah.
They're actually out there looking for him in the town. And what are they doing? They're going around like a town crier.
Yes.
That's
town crier.
It's oh wait, before I do that, I had pulled up some other pictures that I wanted to just
Has
show
anybody
here.
seen Vito Antolini?
Right.
Yep, yep. They're worried about him. He hasn't been seen.
Do you see how powerful this whole scene is? That we are really deep diving into one scene.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's amazing, right?
This is Don Cheech. Look at him sitting in his throne, basically. His chair is like a throne. It conveys it that he's like the baron of the area. This is what he.
Wow. Wow. That is absolutely crazy. Look at that.
Great. That's good stuff. That part was great right there.
Wow. What an opening to a movie.
And even how they shot it, right? Even how they shot it, it gives you this feel that it's actually old. Like there's like a tint to the film. Like it's like a brownish tint to the film to make you look like it's something that took place 100 years ago. It's just really well done.
Hold on. I want to capture this all right. Let's spotlight Tony Silo's comment and then Travis's comment, if you can. Tony Silo's first. Let's do this. Let's do this right here.
With no compassion. Bottom line, he taught Vito that.
Business.
Mm-hmm.
He taught him right there.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Don Cheech taught Vito what to do.
Yep.
At that moment. Wow. That's great. Thank you, Tony. That's a great comment. And then Travis right there.
Travis. The shotgun blows her off her feet is power. Yeah, right. Blows her back.
That was the cinematic draw. They wanted to draw you in cinematically.
Mm-hmm.
Draw you in, make you.
Wow, you guys are really adding to the show. This is great.
Yeah, Don Cheech.
Right then and there, and you can't wait till he gets even with that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Eventually he's going to get that guy.
Exactly.
And think about this. Think about what he's doing. He's doing everything that we have traditionally thought that the mafia didn't do. Kill women and children, right? He's killing them. He's without a thought. It's so ruthless and so cold. It sends the right message, right? He's in complete power.
Sicily. That's Sicily's history forever there.
Yep.
That's why they call them zips.
It's true.
Oh,
It's true. Yeah, I just thanked him for that. That's a great comment, too. You're not going to find this anywhere else, folks. You're not.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving it to you from people that understand.
We're just telling you basic. We're just basic people, average people, telling you our thoughts on it from our experience. That's all.
That's all we want to do.
Nothing special about us. That's for sure.
Just three guys that just push. They said push live. We're pushing live. What is this?
All right. I see. Now, Tony said, what is Tony saying here? It followed with Michael, who was ruthless.
So
yeah, absolutely.
We talk about this.
We talked about this last
we did.
show. How much more ruthless Michael
was in him,
was.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it just the ruthlessness passes off to each guy in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not just Sicilian. Is it just Sicilian and Machiavelli, or is it the culture in general?
Well,
is it just Sicilian culture?
Absolutely.
I mean, I think that's a big part of it. I think, and it's not to say that that's the only place that it happens. It's just that we see it more prevalent there. It could. I'm sure it happens other places as well.
You
I'm
got to
sure in the
remember
Middle East, they kill
Yeah,
people
yeah,
for
right.
disrespecting someone. They
It's a
kill.
criminal culture. It's a
Yeah,
criminal culture.
you
It
know what I
doesn't
mean. Like
matter.
so,
Hollywood glamorized
Yeah.
it.
It's a
Hollywood
criminal culture.
glamorized it. So,
It's captured in criminality, not just.
right.
hmm
All right, good. That was
so
good.
okay.
Thank
So
you,
where we
Maureen.
left off was Vito escapes, and we see that they're looking for him. They're looking for him in the town, and they're announcing, and it's always the carrot and the stick, if you know what I mean. He says, if you tell whoever tells us will be rewarded. If you don't, you're going to be an enemy. So it's the carrot and the stick. Either you
Yeah.
comply and you'll be rewarded, or you're gonna regret not doing it. So
And
it's both.
it's a lie either way. Even
Mhm.
if you tell them, you might get killed.
Now,
That's true.
hold on. Let's go
That's the
back here.
chance you take.
I don't want to miss these chats. I really
Mhm.
don't. I think it's very important. The reality report. Hey, he's a first time here, I
Oh
believe.
yes, reality report. Thank you for
So I
joining.
believe our culture, yeah, it is cultural. I think you're right, reality report. I do agree with that 100%.
Absolutely. Yep.
And Jen, I have some really, really close Colombian friends, and they have the same type of story. I
Mm.
speak to people that they speak Colombian only almost, and we still can have a conversation about something like this and get the same cultural background.
Well, I remember the Colombians have to deal with this day in and day out because of the drug culture that's there. They have to constantly deal with that. So,
And I'm going to tell you, Colombians and Italians get along beautifully. I'm
mhm.
dealing with this for 27 years
I'll
with
tell you
crossing with
another thing.
cultures. And it seems to be there is a connection there between these two cultures. And I guess you just explained why, and because they're now I
No,
understand more why for you
Mhm.
just saying this. I didn't understand in totality before you
Right.
just said this and before Jen Silo posted that comment.
Mhm.
we forgot about one certain race here too that was number one in Dindu's world growing up, and they understood where I was coming from, and I understood a lot where they were coming from in so many different ways. African Americans.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
As a
that's what
Sicilian, I'll
I.
tell you what, I've had the most respect, honor, and loyalty from my African American goombas. I'll tell you
Mhm.
that much. But
Yeah.
and some
No,
good
it's true.
family talk and the trust. And I'll tell you what, they're a race that's right near, real
Mhm.
Well,
close. They're here to Tindu.
just in short, I was
Right.
there. My half of my family did not leave the Newark area, so we were still
Right,
in the projects up until the
right.
late '80s. A lot of our
Tindu
friends
was a
moved
street
over
guy.
and were away from the element. I remained there. My grandparents remained there. We had to take them out of there late in later years. They would not leave.
Yeah.
But one of my best friends as a youth, his name was Tyrone. He was a black kid. We got along beautiful, beautiful.
That's
And
it.
now
Right,
later on in life, in my career, I'm meeting Colombians because Colombians are a strong workforce in the last 25 years. And
right, right.
culturally, we are connected. It
Right.
all goes back to this. This all comes together right now.
Well, I mean, and we've spoken about this too, Tommy, is a lot of it comes from, regardless of what you are, whether you're black, white,
Yeah.
whatever, it all comes from the environment in which you're raised under. And like, for example, we had several black kids in Belleville. They were just
Yeah.
like us. They were
Oh,
they
yeah.
were raised in our environment. They were raised under the same environment. We never
We're good.
saw them as blacks versus
Nope.
whites. They were Belleville
Nothing.
people. You know what I mean? Like, because we
Right.
all grew up in the same environment.
Yeah. We're still friends to this day.
Yeah.
We're
hmm
still all friends to this day. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, so what happens with Vito? Vito's taken in by a family who arranges for him to be sent to America. And the family, and it's not clear in the movie, but the family that
Yeah.
does that is um the family is the parents of Tomasino, or the
Tomasino.
Tomasino's family. Yeah, the guy that eventually becomes Don Tomasino. It's his family that was a
Wow.
friend of the Andolinis that takes Vito in and
Wow.
makes him and arranges for him to move to get to
That's
America.
who it was. I was
Yeah.
wondering that.
Now,
Wow.
you guys too, you got to remember, I don't know how many of these other people, Tomasino, he was the guy who got his legs blown off at the
Yes.
hit.
Yes.
He's the guy
Right.
in the wheelchair. That's Tomasino,
Right.
everybody.
Right.
You know, that you want to talk about respect, honor, and loyalty. The guy
Yep.
So
guy's crippled from that hit.
So Don Tomasino got vetoed to the States,
Yeah.
and then
Well, his
advised
parents did. He's a child at this time. He's the same
Okay,
age. He's the same age.
okay.
So his
Later on
parents
in
did it.
life,
Yeah.
so they assisted Vito,
Mm-hmm.
and then the son helps out the son.
Right. Right.
Don
Right.
Tomasino helps out Michael. 35 years later, 40
Right.
years later, whatever it might be. Wow.
That's his Goomba.
Yeah.
Wow. Second
That's-
generation.
Just imagine being 9 years old and being put on a ship liner, a steamship, sent across the Atlantic Ocean to to where? What are you going to do? I mean, like,
Where are you going? Yeah.
You know-
you don't even know where you're going.
yeah,
No idea.
Okay.
But how much worse can it get for the kid? They killed his mother.
yeah.
How much worse can you?
Well, his
what
family's
worse shape
dead.
can you put him in? Yeah,
Right. His father, his mother, and his brother are gone. They're all gone.
gone. The whole family's gone.
Mhm.
Somebody's sponsoring him, a trusted individual to get him to safety, and that's what happened. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, real fast. This
Travis.
the reality report. He has a show.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm
Post-
going to drop his link for him.
Yeah, post the
Reality, I'm
link.
going to drop your link for you
Yeah.
real fast.
Definitely post
Sure,
the link
sure.
there. I don't know who I have in here that's a moderator. I don't even
Look
know. I
at
can't
Travis.
tell.
I got it. I got the phone going.
Look what Travis just said. This makes the show worth it right here. Travis's comment right there. Excellent. Great comment, Travis.
Nice, Travis. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Travis.
Great.
Really appreciate
Excellent. That is good. All right, good. We're kicking off nicely today, guys. We really are.
it. And
Oh,
Tony
okay,
says
good.
Greg is a friend. Is a friend.
Oh,
Okay,
good,
good.
Tony.
Good,
Okay,
good,
good. Thanks.
Excellent.
Bring around good people.
Huh.
That's what we want.
All right. Excellent.
Smash the like button, says Andrea. There you go.
Smash it.
Smash it.
Smash you.
Wow, great.
Yeah. So Vito goes to America, and we'll just do this last part, and because I think it kind of links it all together, right? He comes to America, and he's on Ellis Island, and this is something that everybody basically, unless you're English and you've been here, your family's been here for 200, 300 years, you relate to the Ellis Island experience. Everybody does, right? He comes there, and how stereotypical is this? He gets the wrong name. He gets a wrong name. He's given a name by an Irish guy that didn't read it properly, didn't read his tag properly, right?
Yeah.
Even though there's an Italian translator there who says it's Vito Andolini, the guy just ignores it and goes, Corleone, Vito Corleone, and writes it out.
Talk about ignorance. He didn't like what he said, so he just put his own name to him. You know, unbelievable.
Yeah, it's true though.
Yep.
I told you guys, my ex-wife, her last name's Italiano. There's no way.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
It's not possible. How's it possible? I married a girl named Italiano. It's not possible.
Italiano.
They gave him that. They gave her father that name. I'm assuming,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
oh.
Yes.
He was Sicilian, so they gave him that name.
Todd Father's right here. Please leave a comment once the video is posted. Yes, because the last time we did get some traction because a lot of folks came in and put comments, and we got up to 500 views at the end. So it was kind of helpful, I think. So if people can want to do that, that's great. Please consider doing that.
It does.
We had a family. They were pepperones. Well, they gave them the name pepperonis,
Yeah, I don't
but they
think
had to switch it back to pepperoni. Imagine walking through, and this is Bobby Pepperoni. Don't you imagine the butt of all jokes that was? Oh, and they used to do that to the family. They had to switch it to pepperoni.
Mhm.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Too funny.
That's great. That's our culture. This is stuff we deal with, guys. This is what we deal with.
And also, the Greeks had to deal with this a lot too because their names are so long that they would shorten them. They would shorten them because they couldn't say them. They would just shorten them. The people in Ellis Island would just shorten them. because they couldn't go through the names, couldn't pronounce them.
They didn't want us here, probably.
Well, that's another story. That's another story, because the individuals may not have, but the company wanted, because the country wanted it, because the country needed the labor, and that's what it was seen as, a labor force. Bring us in, because we need you. We need you to build this country up. Bring it in. So, and then the individual saw it as, there was all that conflict between taking jobs and all that other stuff, working for cheap and all that other stuff. But
well, yeah,
that's nature, right? That's just the way it goes. Mickey Griggs, thank you for joining me.
We say it's nature, but this is an important time to talk about this situation here. So some of the outtakes from some of the readings that we do have, being from the Newark area, this is what we do have. Before we end the segment, I want to put these in here, and then this will be it for that. On May 28th, 1888, they passed a resolution that parties receiving the contact for privilege Washington shall behind themselves not to employ Italian labor.
Mm-hmm.
That's one reading.
Right.
One reading. I'm going to go with Nixon right now.
Go
with Nixon.
Go with that.
The Italians, you can't find one who is honest.
Mm-hmm.
On the Nixon again, on the Italians.
That's right, Dean. To put that.
Hold on. I got it. This is the perfect opening to season 2 to do this, and then we're done with this. We never complain about any of this stuff. On Italians, Nixon did say, the Italians, of course, don't have their heads screwed on tight. They are wonderful people, but, and he left it at that. So we have been dealing with this for, when is that? How long ago was that?
Much.
He
over
said
100 years.
he don't like the way we smell either.
How long? Right. How long ago was that? 60 years?
Oh, Nixon? Yeah. I mean, Nixon was what, 50 years ago? Or something like that.
Whatever it is. Now, you're never going to hear these three guys complain about all of that. We don't get down on that. But I think this episode was the time to just put that out there, and then we're going to move along.
And you want to hear the poetic justice about Nixon? His son married an Italian. That is the poetic justice for Nixon that he got before.
Beautiful. I love it. All right.
What a hypocrite.
All right, Silo. Thank you for stopping in. You added some great content to the show. Thank you.
Tony.
But
wow.
But yeah, and then the other thing I wanted to mention also was about that scene. The ending of that scene is he's put into quarantine. Why? Because he has what does he have? Does he have smallpox, or does he have yellow? Was it smallpox? Yeah, smallpox, right?
Smallpox.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing.
Yeah, smallpox. So he's quarantined. And he's quarantined. And how does the scene end? He's looking out and he sees the Statue of Liberty out the window of the room he's quarantined in. I mean, that's just classic situation there.
He started singing, right?
Yeah, and he started singing in Italian, right? To keep himself
company. He was not
going to
let it. He was going to do this. Somebody gave him the opportunity, and he was going to do it.
Wait, he started singing the Italian. Was it the national anthem or a prayer? Oh, my grandmother told me.
I don't know.
My grandmother told me. I can't remember.
If any of you guys know, we would appreciate that feedback. We don't know what he was singing in that last opening scene, the last part of the opening scene. Yeah. We have no idea. If anybody knows, we would appreciate the feedback.
Gianni, we got to make Gianni listen to that.
Somebody can translate for us.
Yes.
Yes,
Vincent. Well, but does he understand Sicilian? Because he does. Okay.
Gianni, yeah.
No, that's right. Gianni does speak Sicilian. You're right. Yeah. He does. Yeah. And Vincent, we've talked about this many times, Vincent. Yeah, we were very aware of that, and it's a shame how people don't know it. It's a shame how many people don't know it existed and what went down there.
We don't complain, though. We don't complain. We keep building stuff.
Yes, sir.
Keep building stuff.
I'm going to hit on a little bit of that, Vincent, on my show tomorrow.
Good.
So, yep. We're going to have a lackluster show tomorrow. It's going to be a good show.
Excellent.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I'll definitely be there tomorrow because I'm off.
Good.
I'm off this week, so I will be definitely there. So so this opening scene, just to round it up, sets up the background for Godfather 2, because this is the clip of Vito, right? It's all about Vito. Vito's already dead at this time. Vito already passed, but this is the background that sets up so that you understand what's going to happen going forward with Michael as Michael, and the tribulations that created Vito. This was just part of it, created him, and then it translates into Michael, and so on and so forth. And then the really good stuff happens later on, where you see Vito going back and getting revenge. It's just there's so much more to come that I'm not going to get into here, but it's so much. It's a nonstop thing. You can't turn away. When you turn it on, you can't turn away. At least that's me. I can't stop watching it when it's on. I have to watch it because I know what's going to come next. A lot of people say, well, you saw it already. No, I want to see it. Yeah, because I've seen it already. I want to see it again. I'm looking forward to the next scene. That's at least how I am with it.
No, even my kids, they make them watch it in school.
Mm-hmm.
They make my son watch it in school. So there is something about it. There's a learning experience involved with it. Yep. And you catch something new every time you watch it. You catch new things. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next scene, what we'll do next week is, it's similar to Godfather 1 in that it's a family event, but it's a different type of family event, right? Well, but it's a family event that we switch to modern times, and it's a family event. In the Godfather 1, it was a wedding. This time it's a communion. So we're back to the center of the family and religion and the culture, right? That sets up what's going on in America in present day. So it's very similar in the Godfather to the original Godfather as well in that regard.
Wow, this was a great show, man. You're welcome, Reality Report. That's what we do here, buddy.
Oh, absolutely. So, any closing thoughts, guys? We got a couple.
I think this was a home run right now. I think we had a great
show.
Great show. We had great input from the crowd, and like I said, guys, we spoke about doing it as a pre-record, but I think this is the better way.
Mm-hmm.
I think it worked out well because there are things we don't know everything. We're not
absolutely
here.
not.
We are not three guys here that say we know everything. We're not bringing you perfection. We're just breaking down these shows.
Okay, hold on a second here. It says,
by scene.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but Nina, what is this? Nina Rhoda wrote the song?
That's who wrote the song, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we'll try to get more information on that for the next opening. So we'll see. But I just think this was a home run. So I think we had a good show.
Oh, yes.
Okay, Adam, I'm going to look into that too. Nina Rhoda. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
We're let's see.
Thank you, Travis. Vincent,
Travis, yes.
Reality Report. You guys added to the show today, guys. So we're doing it together.
Vincent's been adding some good material.
Vincent too, yes.
Yep, we're doing it together. It's not just us trying to deliver facts to you that we know everything.
Oh, we welcome everybody.
We want to do. This is how we want to do it.
Yeah, this is, and that's the whole value of this, is that we could do the pre-record, but all you would do was hear our comments. You wouldn't be able to add, and we wouldn't be able to learn from it either.
That's for people that know it all.
Yeah.
People that know it all do premieres because they think they know it all. They don't want to hear no one else's, opinion.
Yeah. And I do premieres for the boys in New Jersey because I'm just doing an audio book, and I just do that. It makes sense. I'm not going to sit there and read in front of you guys. I just do that and record it and put it up. It makes sense to me to do that.
35 minutes this morning. That was perfect.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, I want to just thank everyone for joining. It was an exceptional show. Had plenty to talk about, plenty of deep material to talk about. The chat added so much this time, more than usual. And maybe that's our fault because we haven't all the time. We don't go to the chat as often, but this time we went more, and I think it was a beneficial thing that we did. And a lot of new people in the chat too. So it was a great, great time today. I want to thank everyone for joining. Please hit the like button if you can, or leave a comment after the show comes back on, comes up there. And please come back next week, and we'll continue. Well, and bring your thoughts, bring your opinions. We really enjoy it.
And bring
And
your
guys,
friends.
we're going to be doing that a lot more. A lot of the street stories, mob stuff. We're not part of that genre, but it is part of our lives, our history, and we love to talk about it.
Mhm.
It's what we do. So
Perfect.
everybody's always invited. If you have any good stories, and Mickey Griggs, we hit on everything. We've
Yeah.
only just started over here, Mickey.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's going to get good,
Yes.
definitely.
Excellent.
All right, guys. I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Tindu show tomorrow. Tommy show tomorrow. Good things happening. Tune in, and we'll see you next time. God bless.
All right, guys.
Love everybody. God bless. Have a great weekend.
Hang out. Hang out.
Yep.
Hang out, Tindu.